I think that Republican leaders should have the courage of their convictions. You despise SNAP, you're the ones that are cutting the program, you're the ones who shut down the government. But even if you want to debate whether who shut down the government, good, we'll have that debate in a second. But don't tell me that Democrats are welfare queens and all they want to do is give everybody food stamps and then say, can you believe Democrats are taking away your food stamps? No, we all see you, man.
Today marks day 27 of the government shutdown, and still there's no resolution in sight. Senate lawmakers return to Washington this afternoon, but the House remains in recess. Despite this, House Democrats are set to meet this week at the direction of Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Additionally, after a Republican-backed bill to pay federal employees and contractors who continue to work without pay failed to advance last week, Senator Ron Johnson, who sponsored that bill, said he would look to continue talks with Democrats this week in hopes of passing it. Over the weekend, President Trump spoke to reporters, reiterating he'd be willing to meet with Jeffries to negotiate on health care if Democrats would reopen the government first.
There you have it. As the government shutdown is set to enter its 5th week on Wednesday, Democrats and Republicans still remain at an impasse with no resolution in sight. And now the situation has become even more dire for Americans after the Agriculture Department announced Saturday SNAP benefits would not be issued November 1. That affects over 40 million Americans. Cenk, before we get into the details of this one and what the USDA said, what are your thoughts?
I think that Republican leaders should have the courage of their convictions. You despise SNAP, you're the ones that are cutting the program, you're the ones who shut down the government. But even if you want to debate whether who shut down the government, good, we'll have that debate in a second. But don't tell me that Democrats are welfare queens and all they want to do is give everybody food stamps and then say, can you believe Democrats are taking away your food stamps? No, we all see you, man. I know in the old days you had mainstream media who would just lie to everyone. Now there's online media. We see you. It's definitely Republican politicians taking away SNAP. And Sharon, even if you're a right-wing viewer right now, are you saying that the Republicans want to give away as much food stamps as possible? And that you're proud of that? No, I mean, nobody in their right mind, whether they're right wing or left wing, can make that argument except the giant liars that are Republican leadership. I literally don't see any other answer than that in this regard.
No, absolutely. And there's this, as we promised, USDA on Saturday posted this message to their website. Senate Democrats have now voted 12 times to not fund the food stamp program, also known as the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP. Bottom line, the well is run dry. At this time, there will be no benefits issued November 1. We are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. They can continue to hold out for health care for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures, or reopen the government so mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable among us can receive critical nutrition assistance. So a warning was given earlier this month by Ronald Ward, the acting associate administrator for SNAP, who wrote in a letter October 10th this: as stated in our lapse of appropriation correspondence dated October 1, SNAP has funding available for benefits and operations through the month of October. However, if the current lapse in appropriations continues, there will be insufficient funds to pay full November SNAP benefits for approximately 42 million individuals across the nation. So pay attention to what he said at the end there, pay full SNAP benefits. To be clear, the well has not run dry. There's between 5 billion and 6 billion currently in that fund, experts say. That's not enough to cover the estimated 8 billion in SNAP benefits due out next month, but it would allow for partial payments to help low-income Americans defray food costs. They're holding that money hostage to put pressure on Senate Democrats. In a memo, the USDA said the reason is simple. The contingency fund was designed to respond to unforeseen events like natural disasters, and the current shutdown does not qualify because it was manufactured by Democrats. To spend the money on SNAP benefits during such an event, the USDA argues would be illegal. However, memo contradicts the shutdown plan prepared by USDA earlier in the year, which said the department is legally obligated to pay SNAP benefits in the event of a shutdown. Trump officials had located and were using stopgap funding to prop up the WIC program, which provides food aid to a smaller subset of people, including pregnant women, breastfeeding moms, and children under 5. To keep WIC benefits whole through October, Trump's budget team had tapped $300 million from the president's tariff revenues. So tariffs did something good, huh? But that money too is soon to expire, according to advocates, and there's no indication the administration is preparing a similar transfer for November. So keep in mind, as Republicans cry for their constituents over SNAP benefits, they forget they voted to cut SNAP by almost $186 billion over the next decade in Trump's big, beautiful bill. So that makes it the largest cut to SNAP in history, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. What is it that Democrats actually want is the question. Despite the threat to cut off food aid, Democrats are signaling they're not changing their strategy. And we need to be clear on what Democrats want versus what Republicans believe they want. Senator Ruben Gallego explained this on Meet the Press over the weekend. Listen.
Look, our focus right now is to keep costs low. Insurance premiums doubling for 24 million Americans. That is a decision that the Republicans are going to make, and then they have to own for the next year. And I'm not quite sure that a lot of Republicans in swing districts understand what they're about to do. I'll give a good example. In Arizona, a family of 4 is going to jump almost $3,500. That's $7,000 someone's going to have to pay for their health insurance. There's not many families in this country do not have enough room for them to be able to afford that big of a jump.
So, Cenk, will starving mothers, babies turn their attention to Democrats and blame them for this? What happens next?
No. So first off, look, I've been doing this now for over 30 years, 23 years on the Young Turks. I can't stand the lies of the politicians anymore. I mean, you vote to cut SNAP by $186 billion. By the way, why did they do that? So they can give more to the rich. They did tax cuts for the rich. They moved about $150 billion to the Pentagon, pure pork for the defense contractors, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, et cetera. So you took from the poor and you gave to the rich and to the corporate donors. Don't tell me you're here to protect SNAP, please. Just, do you have like a shred of decency in your body? No, you're not here to protect SNAP, you're here to destroy SNAP. So don't tell me the Democrats are doing it when the Republicans have been doing it my whole lifetime, and they're doing it right now, and they just voted to do it. And then they insult your intelligence, not if you're a left winger, if you're a right winger. They tell you, oh, the Democrats are doing this because they want healthcare for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures. Guys, that has nothing to do with this. You can have real fair argument and say, oh, they want to protect Obamacare. Yeah, but Gallego's right. If the Republicans get their way, your premiums are going to double for 24 million Americans. And Gallego's right, who can afford $7,000 a year for just your health care? How are you going to pay the rent? How are you going to pay for food? How are you going to pay for clothes? No, corporate rule is crushing us to oblivion. And the Republicans have helped. A lot of times the corporate Democrats help too. But in this case, the Democrats are saying, no, don't let these healthcare premiums double. That is what this entire shutdown fight is about. If they won on that, the government would be open tomorrow. You'd be getting the SNAP benefits. Your premiums wouldn't double. When the Democrats are wrong, we come out here and tell you all the time. We drive them crazy by telling you how many times the Democrats are wrong. But they're not wrong on this. And so Republican leadership is trying to get you to believe that they're going to protect SNAP when they voted to cut it every single time and they just cut it to oblivion. No, and even their own voters, Sharon, to answer your question, won't believe this. Because if you told right-wing voters, oh, don't worry, Republican politicians want to protect food stamps and the Democrats are trying to get rid of food stamps, even the Republican voters won't believe that. They've been doing propaganda against food stamps my entire lifetime. So which one is it? Are people taking food stamps to welfare queens like you've been telling me for 40 straight years, Republican politicians? Or all of a sudden are you trying to protect food stamps? Oh, you just found out that tens of millions of Americans get food stamps and they're going to be pissed at you. So now after having done that for decade after decade and attacking those people for my entire life, now you want to turn around and pretend you're their champion? while you cut their legs out from underneath them? No, that crap's not gonna fly. This is 100% on Republican leadership.
Agree with everything you said, 100%. I just wonder if you're willing to go this far, cut $186 billion, right, over the decade from the program, and then lie about it, when will this end? If you're not gonna blame the Democrats and people are gonna look squarely at the Republican Party and these lies and this really a lack of heart, is that even gonna be enough for them to turn around and say, we better moonwalk some of this back? I just don't know.
I mean, you need real Democratic leadership, because Democratic leadership could push back on this messaging just like I just did right now. And then go ask them the question, which one are you? Are you for food stamps, which you claim we're all for welfare queens, or are you against food stamps? Answer the goddamn question. Answer the question. Look, real press, which is near impossible, but no, that's, to be fair, real journalism has begun in online media. If you're waiting for mainstream media to do real journalism, you'll wait your whole life. They love corporate politicians, Republican or Democrat, so you're never gonna get real reporting out of them. But real journalism would have to happen. It's beginning to happen online, or real leadership from the Democrats. We're trying. Go support rebellionpact.com. Trying to start a rebellion in the Democratic Party. But other than that, the current crop is kind of hopeless. So it's the Republican leadership that is deeply corrupt, working with the very corrupt Democratic leadership whose job is to surrender. So that the fact they haven't surrendered yet is amazing. And by the way, we did a story about that last week. And why did they not surrender yet? Literally, Democratic senators complaining to mainstream media, we want to give up, but our voters won't let us. They want us to fight, but our job is to surrender to corporate Republicans. That's what our donors pay us for. They're saying it into the press. So this game is getting exposed. Good cop, bad cop. These two groups of people have been working to screw over the average American my whole life, and I just can't stand it anymore. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.